Hello, again, this is an LC Creations presentation and actually tutorial now. I am going to release what I'm going to show you tonight, this time. This is not just going to be a presentation, it is a tutorial. Officially a release and a tutorial. Now, before I get started, it is not a release on Tycoon 2 mod editor, but it does have to do with it. It's a release on Tycoon 2 mod editor fence demo, which is the official part of the software you can edit fences. Well, I mean, it's not the actual software itself, it's just that panel that comes up in the software. So let's get started, and I'm gonna show you this really cool stuff. So let's get started. So I'm gonna open this here, and what's gonna come up is it's gonna start the software, which is fence details. Basically, what this is like I said, it's what's gonna show up in the software. And so I'm gonna just pretty much edit this fence or create a fence, and it's gonna be pretty cool. The meshes, by the way, in this software, they are not edited in the software. I'm trying to think about possibly trying to work on that. It's not going to import them into Mythscope, so it's going to have, it's going to be difficult to do it, but someday, maybe someday, I'll have a meshing software just specifically for NIF files and all that stuff. But I don't know how to make all those plugins and anyway, but yeah, so let's get started here. So is this the first code in your project? Yes, it's the first code in your project. And now you're gonna browse. It's very important that you click that, because if you don't, it's not gonna work. So let's go down to Tycoon 2 projects. I'm gonna make a new folder that will be called ZT2 example project. So ZT2 example project. Go ahead and click OK. Now you're gonna have all this stuff enabled. That's what you want. So you're gonna see you also have price, sell price, and research price here. These are the details that I added that you can actually add to your object, and plus more advanced settings. But I'll show you that later, because we can only go into this panel once. After that, you can't go in it again. So the project code name will be example project, and then I'll do example fence. Example fence 01, and then I'm gonna do example fence height 1, and then don't worry about the project code name, we don't need to do that. So let's get started. Make sure you have these selected. They'll already be selected, pre-selected. And you're gonna put in here example project ZP. You can put in whatever you want, it doesn't matter, you just have to remember it. And same thing with this, FR. I put FR for filter, obviously. You can probably figure that out already. And then I'm gonna do example pack. Oops, let me fix that. So example pack filter, and then I'm gonna do the code name for the texture, which will be TX for texture, and that. And then I'm gonna put in my publisher's name, which is LC Creations, and I'm gonna put in 6/30, 30, and 15 for the date here. and then I'm gonna put in my description of the mod, and I'm gonna put in for that, this pack is just an example. That's all. And then I'm gonna put it in the price for this fence. Pretty cool. So I'm gonna put in 50, and then I'm gonna put in 100,000. I don't know, just to mess around. And then I'm gonna put in research price. I'm gonna put in 1, so it doesn't cost that much money to do the research price. And then I'm gonna click advanced setting. Now this says, like I said, this says note that you may only enter this info once. So click OK. And then I'm going to do the UI sort. What the UI sort does is it tells you where your object will show up in the game when you're looking for it in the menu. So I'm going to put in A_1. That's pretty simple. And then I'm going to put in research time, which will be the time that it'll take to research in campaign and challenge mode. I'm going to put in 10 seconds. That's pretty easy. And then for the fence strength, you're going to want to do 10, so dinosaurs and stuff won't bash over it or something. Don't mess with this unless you really want to make your project really nice, because what this does is it'll make it to where you can't put elevated paths over it over a certain height. Like say if I did height 5, you don't want that. So don't do that. Fame requirement, you do 5, so that way it's half a star you have to have in order to unlock it. And then just click done. There we are, done. Like I said, you cannot edit it again. So all you have to do now is just click recode entity. There you go, restart. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start a new project, and this time it says no. Is this the first code in this project? No. Make sure it always says no, because you have to make sure that it says it. And then you're going to go to browse. You can just click OK because it's already selected in there, but you have to do that. If you don't, it's not going to work. Project code name, yeah, don't worry about that. That doesn't need to be worried about. That's why it's disabled. So I don't know why I just said that. I'm sorry, I was just thinking about my computer programming and why it's disabled, so I started getting worried about that. Anyway, that's pretty obvious. That's why it's disabled. Anyway, oops. I'm gonna put in my fence code name, which I'm gonna make it example fence 02, and then I'm gonna do example fence height 2, and then I'm gonna make all this the same, and then I'm gonna go back down here, and I don't know why this is enabled. You don't need to worry about this, the Zoopedia name. You just need to worry about this here. Example project FR. For some reason, yeah, it doesn't. It's really weird. You don't need to worry about that either. And then you do the texture code name, which would be example project TX, and then you're gonna go to advanced settings, blah blah blah, A_2. I'm gonna do 10 seconds, fence strength 10, fame requirement 5, done, recode entity, and you're done. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. You're done building a pack with 2 fences already. Now, like I said, the fences are going to be individually edited. So don't like the meshes will be individually edited. So anyway, that's how it works. Like I said, I'm going to release the software tonight. So go in the description of this YouTube, or if you're on Tycoon 2 Roundtable or TRT, whatever forum you're on, go ahead and go into the description of that under the video and get the software. It's that simple. So anyway, that's how you do it. Click done and you are done. Oh, actually there is one more thing. You can do this in the software. You can go and compress your project, but since I already closed this, I can't really do that now. You have to do it when you're working on it, unfortunately. So I'm going to do it in here. But you can I don't want to restart this whole tutorial. And then I'm going to make this ZT2, or no, sorry, Z2F, and then yeah, change it. And then I'm just going to put my stuff in here. And then there you go. Now, like I said, you can compress your project in the folder, or in the software, by clicking on this thing and then browsing for your project. But I'm not going to show you that right now because you have to actually redo all the stuff in order to do that. Or no, you don't. Anyway, I already did it. So anyway, this is the software. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial / presentation and enjoy the software. Goodbye.